So, it's been a long time coming, but Nintendo have finally revealed the Switch 2. And while I don't normally do a whole lot of gaming coverage on this channel, gaming is still a huge part of my life, and I wanted to make a video talking about the Switch 2 because I'm pretty excited about it. First of all, let's talk about the title of the console itself, which is, as rumoured, Nintendo Switch 2. And personally, I think this is the best possible title they could have given this console because when you look back at Nintendo's history, they've never really done a direct sequel to any of their consoles. I mean, of course, you do have slight upgrades like the NES to the SNES, and then, of course, you do have the DS to the 3DS and things like that. So things that, are clearly a kind of next step in that console evolution. But we've never had okay, this is a Switch 1 and this is a Switch 2. In the same way that PlayStation does their consoles going from the PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nintendo's never done that. Now, Nintendo have attempted to do that in the past, that of course being the Wii U, which was going to be the successor to the Wii. But I personally believe, and I've always believed, that the reason why the Wii U was a huge fail for Nintendo and a big bomb for them was due to how they marketed it, but also how they titled it. The Wii U just doesn't really scream to consumers that this is the next console, like this is the new thing that you need to buy. It kind of comes across more as like an add-on, and when you mix in the fact that all the marketing for that showed how you could use the old Wii remotes on the new console, I don't think it's sold to consumers that this is the next Nintendo console. So going into the Switch successor, I think it makes so much sense, and I think Nintendo was so right to call this thing the Switch 2. I think it's going to make it so definitive, so clear, so that when this console does come out this year, and it's available to buy, people around the world, families who, let's be honest, are the main sort of target market you've got to sell to, they're going to see, oh, Switch 2, this is the next Switch. And it couldn't be more clearly directed than that, and I think that's perfect, and I think this is going to completely avoid the situation they had with the Wii U. Now, the look of the console itself, I also think is really nice, because they've basically taken the exact same design from the original Switch, but have just made it a little bit more curvaceous and a little bit more streamlined, and I personally think it looks really nice. Now, there's been some controversy online, as there always is, that this, looks exactly the same as the original Switch. And yeah, I mean, it looks very similar, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, it's such a cliche thing, but why go out of your way to make it different and change it when the Switch was so successful? All you've got to do is make a few little tweaks here and there, make it look a little bit different, and make sure you're improving on things that fans have been talking about for all these years, and it seems like Nintendo's done that. So again, I think Nintendo, with this new console, the Switch 2, I think they've played it so well. I think they've done it incredibly smart, because this is such a successful brand for them. Like, the Switch is arguably their most successful console of all time. Why do anything radically different? Just stick to what works. People love the Switch, so just make a slightly better version of the original Switch. And that's exactly what they've done. Obviously, it still maintains the switching functionality. They've improved on how the Joy-Cons actually connect onto the console itself, which I think was needed, because that sliding functionality, while good and innovative, it wasn't exactly completely functional, if we all were honest with ourselves. And I also think they're going to improve things like the Joy-Con drift that's on there. Like, I know, for example, one of my Joy-Cons has a really bad drift. I do need to buy a new one, but they're just so expensive. So there are little improvements throughout there, and based on the teaser trailer, there was a moment where you can see the Joy-Cons kind of moving around like a mouse, and there was a lot of speculation based on the leaks and rumours that there was going to be some sort of mouse functionality with these new Joy-Cons, so that might be folded in here as well. So overall, I think the actual look of the console, it looks great. I'm really impressed with it, and I think, again, it ain't broke, don't fix it. They also confirmed that the Switch 2 is going to be completely backwards compatible with the original Switch, which is excellent news. I'm glad that backwards compatibility is a thing that game publishers and game developers and studios are kind of getting back into, because it was something that used to be big back in the day, then they kind of abandoned it, and now it's coming back, and I'm really happy with that, because it just makes sense, like, people have such a big backlog of games that they have for, the current console. When the new one comes out, they don't want to have to abandon all of that. So the fact that this new Switch is going to be completely backwards compatible both with physical and digital games is a fantastic thing to hear. It seems like the Switch 2 is going to be working on cartridges just like the original Switch did, so it's going to be a very easy process. They do show in the trailer the Switch 2 playing Super Mario Wonder, so clearly that backwards compatibility is going to be a big thing built into the new console, which is just always good to see. Now, that's pretty much all the trailer really gave us for the Switch 2. It was very much just a kind of quick look at the console and to confirm the backwards compatibility and the title of the console itself. Now, there is going to be a new Nintendo Direct on April the 2nd, which is going to give us a little bit more information on the Switch 2 and actually delve in probably to more of the nitty-gritty stuff, which obviously we'll have to keep our eyes on for that. But in terms of just, this initial trailer and how it looks, I'm really impressed. I'm excited. Again, it's hard to, get super excited about it because we don't know really anything about it. But again, I'm just going purely off of the fact that this looks to be just a more improved version of the original Switch, and for that, I'm happy with it. No news on the price or the release date yet. I mean, we do know that the console is set to come out in 2025, so we are going to see it this year. If I were to speculate myself, I would probably say that given the reveal is now, I'm going to say we're probably looking at like an October, November release date, which obviously just makes logical sense. You want to bring it out for Christmas time. So I'm sure we'll see it around, the holiday season. But I'm going to say around about October to November time is probably going to be what makes the most sense for Nintendo. And in terms of the price, I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, I think, speaking from a Brit's point of view, I reckon we're probably looking around about £400 for this thing, if I had to guess. They could go cheaper. They could lowball that and go maybe about $350, but for me, just, looking at the console and what I can see from it, $400 feels about right, which I think will, equivalent to about $450 overseas. Now, I do hope there are some internal changes for the Switch, because I think the original Switch, while a great console and super good at what it needed to do, there were a couple of things for me that it was personally lacking. Like, for one, I think the UI overall, the user interface, just was very bland and unappealing, given the fact, that Sony has, their very own UI version on the PS5, and that's so kind of dynamic and really nice. I think compared to what Nintendo did with the Switch, I mean, it's very minimalist, and if you're into that, that's cool. And I mean, generally, I usually am more minimalistic, but I personally felt that the Switch was almost a bit too minimalistic. Like, there was just not enough going on. So going into the Switch 2, I hope the UI is a bit more dynamic and also hopefully a bit more customizable. Like, I hope we can actually do a bit more ourselves in regards to, like, themes or just how we choose what's on the home screen, things like that. Just things that's going to make it a little bit more personal and how you can customize it to your own needs. Also, the eShop tremendously needs overhauling. That eShop is so horrendously slow. Thankfully, I don't need to use it that much personally, but that eShop is just, in the modern kind of gaming landscape we're in, we need an online store that is just quicker, because that original one just doesn't work very well. And also, as a little side note, for something else I'd like to see is, I'd love to see achievement support on the Switch. I know this is something that Nintendo has never done, but I personally really love how on both Xbox and PlayStation you get, trophies and achievements for playing your games. And, if you can get all of them in one game, you get like your 1000G or your Platinum trophy. And it's just something I find really rewarding in games. So it's not something I need or anything like that. Like, playing the game is rewarding of itself, but I personally am a big achievement guy. I really enjoy that stuff. So if Nintendo brought their own version of that into the Switch 2, I'd really love to see that. I'm not holding out hope. I just don't think Nintendo's interested in that sort of thing, and I don't think they need it either. Just something I think would be cool. And to cap off, of course, this trailer, it wasn't just about the console. We also got the reveal of the first ever Switch 2 game, and that being Mario Kart 9, I guess. We don't really know what it's called. There's no title announcement for it whatsoever. All we saw was a bit of footage of what is the new Mario Kart game being played on the Switch 2. And, this is a little bit how they did, last time with the previous Switch, where they revealed the new Super Mario game at the time, which was Mario Odyssey. They showed that in the trailer for the reveal of the Switch 1. Here in the Switch 2, we've got the reveal of the new Mario Kart. And I think, Mario Kart is such an easy sell. Like, you just say Mario Kart, that's it. Everybody gets it. Like, we all understand what Mario Kart is. So going into this new one, this trailer and this little clip we saw of it really doesn't show a lot. Like, there's really not a lot to go off of. I know there are some more in-depth trailer breakdowns out there, which I've been watching myself. So go check those out. They can break it down much better than I can. But I'm just excited for a new Mario Kart. It's been so long since we've had a new one. Mario Kart 8 came out in 2013. Or it might have been 2014, but, it's 10 years, over 10 years since we've had a new Mario Kart game. And I know Mario Kart 8 obviously got a second life on the Switch, and we had the booster course pass where they added new content into the game and stuff, which is awesome. But it's been so long since we've had a new actual entry into the Mario Kart series, and I'm really excited to see Mario Kart 9 on the Switch too. I hope that it's good. I can't wait to see what sort of new features they bring into this one and how, different it's going to be from the previous one. The art style has changed up a little bit. They seem to be going along the lines that Super Mario Wonder started, where it's going to be bit more cartoony, a bit more classic, which I think will be nice on the Switch 2 with its new visuals. So I'm really looking forward to Mario Kart 9. Hopefully it's good, and I can't wait to see more about it. And I think, you know, this is the first look at a Switch 2 game. I do think there are other games that have already been announced that are going to be coming out for Switch 2. Like, I think Metroid Prime 4 is definitely a Switch 2 game. There's no reason why they delayed that the way they did recently without, you know, sort of considering the Switch 2. So I think we had already seen a Switch 2 game already, but it's nice to have one officially on the screen on the Switch 2 itself. But there you have it. That's my thoughts on the Switch 2. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks really cool. I can't wait to see more in April. I'm sure we'll probably have more leaks, but you know, between now and then. But from Nintendo themselves, I can't wait to hear about it. But what do you guys think about the Switch 2? How are you feeling about it? Are you excited? And are you looking forward to the Mario Kart game? And what games and what features would you like to see on the Switch 2? Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more content like this, if you want to see more gaming content, let me know. And I hope to see you guys again next time.